Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of Survivor 41, Episode 9.
Mhm.
There is two different tribal councils to talk about here. I think we had a lot of chaos. I think we've got some really interesting debates here, though, because I think strategically, there are some big questions that we should be asking ourselves at this very moment.
Oh yeah, there are some questions. We're going to talk about the voting and tribal council, all that good stuff. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are here every Wednesday talking about Survivor. We're also covering Succession. We're going to be covering Book 2,
Yeah,
Power Book 2, that's coming up this weekend, as well as Dexter. So there's a lot of stuff going on here at the channel.
Nasir. Nasir. What? What?
I feel like I spent this whole episode saying, Nasir, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? All episode long.
Okay, listen. There's a lot of things I found compelling about Nasir this season. I think he had a really interesting
Yeah, he
backstory.
did.
I loved a lot of sort of the content he gave us pre-merge and all that sort of stuff that was going on
Yeah,
there.
he was also a beast. He was
Yeah,
so good at comms.
but this episode is just like you look up bad Survivor gameplay, and there is a picture of Nasir in the dictionary waving at you with his immunity idol that he didn't bother to play.
And there's a second picture of him sitting beside Heather being like, guess what? You're going home.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
no reason.
Like, yeah, that is Exhibit A of like horrendous. Never do you say to someone, "Hey, guess what? We're getting rid of you because you're not at tribal yet. They have time to counter that. Why?"
Yeah, why would you give that information away? It's just such a mistake. You never want to do that. And I understand that he was probably thinking, hey, she'll be on jury. Maybe it's good fate to be able to just go to her and tell her what is going on, and she will remember that when I am sitting at the end. But you can't do that so early before tribal. It gives Heather time to be able to scramble and figure something out.
I think Nasir that this is really ultimate, like, armchair quarterbacking gut reaction after the episode. It feels like Nasir thought this was like, I don't know, season one of Survivor where everybody just stays in their established alliances the
Yeah.
whole season long. Like he was a loyal soldier for
Yeah.
his alliance. He didn't want to be flexible. He didn't want to move from all. Guess what, Nasir? You played that way in 2021. There's a very good chance you're going to be burned at some point.
And he was burned. He went to jury, Ponderosa, with
I
an idol in his pocket. It is the absolute crappiest position to
Yeah.
be in because he could have been safe. He should have played it. He didn't. Here we are.
this
Sorry, Nasir.
this is Exhibit B, and this is the part of this that Nasir. I'll try to forgive you for a couple of different things here. Maybe you were just running your mouth too much at camp, and that bit you in the butt. Maybe you were overconfident, but the moment, and I know this is very new Survivor, we all still figuring out the mechanics here,
Mhm.
but the moment that Heather, who has been doing the "I'm going home, Eeyore, I'm in debt," like, and she doesn't play the shot in the dark. She's not like, okay, I'm in such danger that I need to do this to give I am pulling out that idol so fast because this tells me the game is afoot. You have to figure out something to save yourself.
For sure. If she's not playing that shot in the dark and she really thinks she's going home, come on, you've got to pull out that idol. If I was Nasir and I was looking around and she was just looking sad, not taking like this, yeah, it's a risk, but at the
Yeah.
same time, if you think you're going home, why wouldn't you just take the shot in the dark? If she's not taking
Yeah.
that, Nasir, you need to play your idol, you need to play it
Yeah.
fast.
You also need to think about this, Nasir. This is Heather. Heather is not. This is not Boston Rob. This is not like a threat that people are going to be thinking about and want to vote out at every given second. This is Heather.
Yeah, if I was playing this game, I would have voted out Nasir as well. I don't really want to be sitting against him at the end. He's, found an idol. He's been able to win challenges. He's doing very well. I don't want to sit against him. I want to sit against Heather, who's really won and done nothing. That's the perfect person to sit at the end with. Everyone should want to bring her to the end. That's why when people were throwing at her name, I'm kind of like, why? Why? No, she's the person you want so that you can win the money at the end. You go with Heather.
Okay, I'm gonna try something here that Heather did in the episode. Because she was like calling to the sky for an immunity idol to come and save her.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza. It's no pizza. It didn't work.
God, Matt, nobody needs to have a hot, drippy pizza come out of the sky and burn our faces.
Listen,
somebody help me.
If there was a way to magically make this happen, it would be coming down in a box, and then you open the pizza. Listen, I'm already talking about something totally implausible here. Why not just go full implausibility? But no, Heather has like one like weirdly entertaining moment in an episode, and then the rest of the episode I'm just kind of like, what is Heather doing? Why is she here?
Yeah.
I don't really super get Heather. Listen, this is the thing, is that Nasir was a much bigger character, but Nasir also proved himself to be a far worse player in this episode.
But also, Heather does bring these moments where you're kind of like, what is happening? What are you doing? Which can be entertaining as well. Heather is not going to win this game, but yeah. I feel like she's just not a threat. She is someone that people should want to bring to the end. But everyone's just like, Heather, because she's close with ERIKA, who won immunity. But outside of immunity tonight, she's not really aligned with anyone. She doesn't have any advantages. Yeah. She doesn't have an idol. Like, she's not a threat either. No. I'm sorry, ERIKA. I'm Team Canada too, but like, come on.
Yeah, This whole situation with this like group here was interesting because it's like only 5 people, and ERIKA's got immunity.
Yep.
Heather's not really a threat to anybody. Nasir ends up going. Shan has got an idol and an advantage, and for some reason, apparently, Shan, it's a-okay to let Shan stick around in the game.
It is crazy. Jeff called this out, that everybody knows like where all the idols are and all the advantages are, and nobody's really looking to try to flush these out. I love that Nasir kept calling it a hidden immunity. It is not hidden. Everybody knows you have it, including Jeff.
Let's talk about the weirdness of this vote, because I think we're sitting here a few minutes after the episode, and I don't think we actually really understand.
No.
Okay, so leading up to Tribal, it sounded a lot like Ricard was the person really gunning for, okay, we need to get rid of Nasir. And then after we saw the votes come in, and it was like this 3-3 tie, like, I thought, okay, Ricard must have flipped and joined ERIKA and Heather, and then Shan must have used her extra vote, and that's how we ended up getting the 3-3. But no, that's not what happened.
No, Shan, it looks like, split her vote, and Ricard voted for Heather. Like, it was very strange. I really do wish that the editors had taken a couple more clips to kind of let us know what was going on, like what was the thinking. We may get this at the beginning of the next episode, but I would have liked to have sort of seen where Shan's thinking was of why she decided to do what she did.
All right, Survivor producers, listen up. I've got for you guys an Emmy-winning idea here.
Here we go. Is it a pizza out of the sky? Hot pizza on her head?
Okay, nothing is better than that idea, but this is a really
good.
In a box. Okay, this is what we call Survivor play-by-play. So it's like, okay, you guys all watch a football game or whatever, and then you have the little spots where it's like a timeout, and then you have like the broadcasters are like showing the replay, and they're like drawing on the whiteboard or whatever and showing you how the X's and O's are going. Here, let's say you have Ricard. It's after Tribal Council. Ricard, maybe you put this on YouTube. He's got like a little whiteboard, and he's sitting there like giving you the play-by-play on what happened, and he's like drawing it out and giving you an explanation. Come on, guys. I may be the only one who wants this, but give it to me. Survivor play-by-play.
I just want the moment, and I really hope we get this in the next episode, of Ricard and Shan either talking this out and that it was planned,
Yeah.
or to see that their communication has truly broken down to a very weird spot. I just don't get what's happening, and I want to understand better. Like, they are still saying they're each other's number one and they are still trying to work with each other or whatever, but it just feels like communication is breaking down.
Here is my, and I don't want to say fear per se because they, Shan and Ricard are really good players, but it's just like I'm starting to wonder if Survivor 41 is trying to spin this like web of lies to make it seem like there's more drama and division going on than there really is, and they're trying to mask like some element of predictability. But I will say this. Winners edit Ricard. It was everywhere in this episode.
Yeah, it was. I still think that Danny has a really good chance of winning this season. Nobody's looking at him. He's really likable. He's in a great alliance, super social, can win stuff. He's great at challenges. I would be really worried sitting in there with Danny, but because I'm on the outside, go Danny.
Danny's just like so inherently likable, and
he is.
we're gonna get over to that side. But this is the one last question I have, and just for you, for everybody, how great was it that Nasir gets voted out, and Nasir doesn't even get to walk off, and it's just from like, go sit down over there.
That's
and
right.
Nasir just has to like sit into like the seat of shame while the next group walks in.
Yeah, where it's difficult for him because he can't even really react to what has happened, because I'm sure he's feeling, well, I'm on TV, so I really can't get pissed off or sad or, screaming or crying or whatever was going to happen with him. It's kind of like, well, I guess I better just sit down with my idol.
Here's a window into my soul, everyone. If this was me, if I was Nasir, glasses would be off. I would be just sobbing into my hand. I would just be I would be inconsolable. Probst would be like up there trying to talk to other tribe, and then he would just hear in the background. And then at some point, Probst would be like, Matt, shut up. This is a TV show. You're ruining it.
Or he'd be like, don't worry, there's pizza and jury.
It's not flying down from my head, though. I don't know if it's going to be as good. Okay, let's get to the other side here and talk about the demise of Evie.
This was tough. I mean, Evie was a really good player. They were in a really good position for a lot of this game. And then it was like, ever since Xander and, Evie put together that whole big, here's the fake idol, everything really did kind of fall apart for them.
Yeah, and I'm so curious. And this is why Xander, I wish you were here so that we could ask you this question. If Deshaun didn't throw Evie under the bus a couple of tribals ago about her spilling the beans to him, would Xander have played the idol for her? Because that's the big question here. Should Xander have played his idol for Evie?
The thing is obviously he doesn't know for sure that there's a big alliance, but he knows something's going on because he was sitting on the beach when Shan said, hey, let's the four of us go over here and talk without Xander. And he should have known at that point that there is something bigger than him going on, and Evie wasn't part of it. So even if things are a little rocky with Evie, there should have been that talk where they were kind of like, listen, there's clearly a bigger something going on and we are not part of it. So we need to find a way to mend what was going on with us and really get back together. I personally think that, if you can save the idol for yourself, you should. Xander is in kind of a crappy spot because everybody's gunning for him, but he needs numbers, and letting Evie go is not great.
Yeah, it is a very interesting situation here because I can understand where both different sides of the argument come from. I mean, me personally, too. I do agree with you. I think he should have played it, but I understand why he wouldn't. But I think the reason that I think, like you, he should play it is because you do need a certain degree of numbers. You do need a little bit of trust. Because either way, basically, even if he does play the idol, he doesn't play the idol, he basically feels like he needs to win a ton of immunities to have any chance of winning this game anyway.
Well, that's what it feels like now. If he was able to play that idol on Evie and mend that relationship, now there's another vote to help keep him. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you're hoping for some trust and some loyalty here. And I think that there would have been some there. I think it wouldn't have been the worst move.
Yeah.
Now I feel like Xander has to win his way to the end, and that's it.
Yeah, and I understand he still has an idol and all that, but guess what? Xander's already found an idol. He could easily just go back to camp, stay up all night after using the idol on Evie, and go and find another one. Have we not learned from like the past 10 seasons of Survivor that there are a billion idols and they are all apparently fairly easy to find?
Yes.
Okay, so the Deshaun point of view in all of this, like they really sold us that Deshaun had like this real huge dilemma here. Do I side with Danny and Leanna, or do I go with Evie and Xander?
Yeah, and I think he really did have that dilemma. I don't think that this was just editing, trying to throw us off. I think he really is having a dilemma because I think he is really close with Danny. I think they have a great relationship, but I think he is getting, for whatever reason, him and Shan are just not really getting along. I mean, we saw them kind of, Deshaun feeling again like, oh, Shan's just telling me what to do, which, that conversation didn't come across that way to me. It felt like Shan was just sharing what she would like to do. I didn't see any part of that edit where she was saying, this is what you must also, but that's just me. But they're just pulling apart so much that I really think he did have a dilemma on what he should do.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying with Shan is he's a little bit just emotionally reactive to things. Like, I think he takes things a little bit personally, or he reads in them too much. I think Shan is probably also a little bit too controlling. So you're adding like, her specific personality attributes just don't mesh well, I think, with his personality attributes, where he wants to feel like he is heard and that he is valued. And here's the thing for you, Deshaun. I have some real talk for you here. You screwed up tonight. And I just an opinion, but I feel like if you want to be the author of your own fate in the game, you basically like gave, your quill pen, your crayon, your keyboard to Danny and Leanna and said, hey, I'll do what you guys want as opposed to what I want tonight.
I think Deshaun was just in a really crappy position because he is in a larger alliance that has numbers who can control a lot of the vote going forward, and there's still a lot of game left to play. So I understand his idea of being like, okay, you know what, I can maybe deal with Shan at a later date. I've got the numbers right now. But at the same time, Evie is someone who I do think would have been loyal to him. I believe what Evie said. So to then have with Xander, who's winning stuff, has an idol, like this could have been a trio that could have gone pretty far. And breaking up Shan and Leanna is something that needs to happen. Like, it really needs to happen. Shan has so much power.
That is the thing here. And it is like, yeah, sure, Deshaun, you can try to get rid of Shan at the next tribal, but what if you're in a situation where Leanna hears about the plan, and then Leanna goes and tells Shan plays an idol, and then you end up being voted out of the game? I just think you had to sort of hurt Shan a little bit at this point. It's getting too late in the game, and like you said, she is so dangerous. She's very good at being sort of paranoid and reading into things. Like, she's a strong player. I think you screwed up, man. And I like Deshaun. I didn't want to see it happen.
No, I agree. I like Deshaun too, but I think that was a mistake because Leanna's gonna tell Shan everything, and it will help her to be able to stay longer, to know when it's time to play her idol. She needed to have that communication cut off, because if Leanna isn't there to feed that information to her, the only person that might tell her information is Ricard. And, Deshaun doesn't have to tell Ricard anything.
Here's the one thing that really is in my craw about this episode in general. Why isn't this like an hour and a half or like two? You have like two tribal councils in here. There's too much going on. It made it a little bit complicated. It made it kind of hard to follow at times. I'm sure if you were out there, I'm sure Nasir's off somewhere too, being like, I got screwed. If this was a full 10-person tribe voting, would I have gone?
It's true. Would he have gone? I don't know. It may not have gone that way, but that's not how it is. This was the twist tonight. Here we are on the season of twists.
Yeah.
Nasir, you done screwed up. You should have played your idol.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's turn this over to you guys. This was a complicated episode, a messy episode at times, but who do you think made the right moves in this episode? Who do you think screwed up? Who is in the pole position now? And how much do you want the pizza to come down from the sky?
Oh my goodness.
Let us know in the comments.
Do you hear this, Coco? Do you hear this? Coco's been here the whole time being like, pizza, pizza, pizza,
See,
pizza.
She's on my side.
No, you're not having
Hashtag Team Pizza.
Oh,
okay, well, hit the subscribe button. Give this video a like. Thank you guys so much. Check out our other videos on The Blacklist, Succession, Dexter, New Blood, and we will see you here next time.